So I'll kind of give people a quick origin. You show up to class, figures I pulled an AJ and I don't know who anybody is. So I don't recognize you, but Ezra recognizes you. And
Yeah, I mean, most people wouldn't.
Well, I can tell you why in a second. As we're walking by, or as we're walking back from just, saying what's up, riders meetings at 10 a.m., Ezra goes,
Yep.
"Do you know who that was?" I'm like, "I have no idea." And he goes, "That's Riley Hawk. He is a very, very good skateboarder." I'm like, "Well, I've had multiple occasions where I've been talking to people that I should maybe know." Deep into conversations. I asked Johnny Walker if he had ever done Erzberg. Turns out he's won Erzberg many times. Maybe he's
Yeah.
maybe he's won Erzberg more than anybody. And I was like, "Hey, yeah, have you ever done it?" "Oh, I don't know. Didn't know who he was."
I
Whoops.
mean, I don't think there's any reason anyone should know who I am anyways, especially out at a dirt bike track. So it's not like it's not like it's some obvious thing.
But you're a good rider. So how long have you been riding for? And who got you into it? Because you said your dad, one of the first things you said to me is that when your dad found out that you wanted to get into moto or in the early stages, he was worried about you getting hurt. And I think that's pretty
Yeah, I
funny.
mean, I think he just knew that I was like already good at skating, It'd be like if your son was already maybe say like a fast super mini kid and like you could actually make it in the sport, and then he's like, I want to go, I don't know, take up something other thing that's going to be a lot of time consumption and like just as dangerous. And I definitely wasn't as good on a dirt bike as I was skating, but my mom's husband at the time, who was my stepdad, he bought me a 110, and me and my little brother would just go out to Elsinore and just ride the little pit bike track, and worked my way up all the way to I had the 65, the 85, and then I got one of the CRF 150s when that was kind of a thing that
Yep.
just started. And right around then is when I just kind of stopped riding because my mom's husband at the time, they had split, and he was the one who would take me and my brother, who was on my mom's side. And so once he was out of the picture, I mean, I'm sure anyone on here, you guys know, like moto is like it's a full family thing, especially when you're a kid. And if you don't have a parent down to take you and help you out, it's kind of like if you can't drive, it's not an option really.
So you started from the time you were super young. At what age did you stop? And then when did you get back into it?
I think I started probably at like maybe 11 and then stopped around like 14. So like maybe like 3 years of somewhat consistent riding, maybe like once a month if we were lucky, and uh, we were just fortunate enough to have Elsinore that was somewhat close. I mean, I was kind of bummed that Paula didn't open until after I stopped riding because that was like right in my neighborhood. But
Mm.
uh, that, and then I stopped for, man, probably almost like 15 years, 14 years, and got a bike a little bit after COVID just because was just kind of in like a weird transitional point in my life where just had more time on my hands. Like I'd been a pro skater for almost 10 years at that point, and it was time to kind of like fulfill some other itches I had growing up as a kid that I didn't get to really like see through. And so it's been, I don't know, I'm a big like fan of kind of the process of getting better at things. And so it's fun to pick stuff up again and try to like actually improve at it, not just go out and aimlessly ride for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, clearly. I mean, you just showed up to a class, and which I think is very cool for anybody to show up to those things. And there's some fast guys that do so. Just shows the humility and like, I just want to get better. So you're fairly
Yeah,
fresh
I mean,
into
you gotta
getting back in. So last 2 years, like less than 2 years.
probably like consistently riding the last 2 years more than I ever have in my life for sure, just because I got the time. I mean, not so much now. I have a son that I was
Congrats,
just
by the way.
born about 2 months ago. So thank you. The time's been a little less as in the last 2 months, but up until my son was born, man, I was like 3 days a week because my wife was like, get it in now, So I was out at Paula almost like 3 days a week, just riding as much as I could. But yeah, I mean, I think just leaving your ego at the door in any situation will always pay off in the long run, just to try to actually improve, and it makes it fun, learning.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, you can do so on Spotify and Apple Music. If you want to send in your own video submission, you can join us in the Moto Academy family inside of the Moto Academy app by just going to themotoacademy.com. That's also where you can sign up for a class. Okay, guys, see you next episode.